And we welcome you to Mission Viejo High School, where tonight SportsNetUSA.net presents Golden West Rustler football. It's the Rustlers visiting the Gauchos of Saddleback College. A great Saturday evening to you wherever you are. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Albert Robles here on this first Saturday in the month of November. It'll be the Rustlers looking to bounce back from that tough loss last week at Riverside. Score 56-13, taking on a Saddleback team that is undefeated on the season, 7-0, 2-0 in Southern Conference play. Rustlers, meanwhile, trying to get back to 500 on the season. They're 3-4 entering this game, 1-1 in Southern Conference play. The Rustlers won the toss and have elected to defer, so they'll be kicking it right to left here to start this first half. The Diablos in their gold helmets, black uniforms, gold numbers with the red trim, and the gold pants. Rustlers with their black lids, white helmets, black lids, white uniforms with the green numbers and gold trim and the black pants. Boot meets ball. It's a short kick and taken at the 36-yard line, and taking a knee there is one of the upmen, Connor O'Brien. So Rustlers very concerned about this return unit for this Saddleback College team. Of course, special teams was a huge issue in the loss last week at Riverside. Tough challenge tonight for the Rustlers, Albert.
I'd say so, Rahshaun. Not looking good with that kickoff so far, but hopefully they can hold the Gauchos off here.
Chance Nolan in at quarterback. First play is a quarterback draw. He keeps it himself. A stiff arm against Saylu Cook, but Cook is able to get just enough of his legs to get him down as he falls forward across the 35-yard line and at the 36, going left to right here to start this one. Nolan is a good one. Leads this team in rushing and throwing on the season. Send it back in motion again. Nolan going to throw for the first time. He just checks it down near side to the back. And getting up the sideline for a first down and just shy of the 45-yard line is the tailback, Algene Fisher. So Fisher, local product out of J. Sarah High School. Getting some early run here. Ball near hash mark. Going left to right are the Gauchos to start this one. Play fake, pressure coming. Nolan rolls out of the pocket, escapes pressure across midfield. He's a speedster across the 40, still on his feet. A spin move, taken down just outside the far hash at the 30-yard line inside of Golden West territory. And it was Cody Saval making the tackle there as the Rustlers were finally able to get Nolan down to the ground. He can scoot. They go with the bunch formation now. Sending the receiver in motion. They give it to him on the fly sweep. And Reich in there to make the tackle. As getting just a couple there that time is the wideout Elijah Jefferson. And they will give it to him from time to time on the run. Jefferson lines up in the slot far side. Out of the pistol, Gauchos hurrying it up. Play fake. Nolan over the middle. Oh, nearly picked off. Reich is wrestling with it with a Gaucho receiver, and the tie normally goes to the offense. They're still wrestling with one another as the officials has already blown the ball dead, and that was Cole Harity making the catch inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Wow, a lot of wrestling and tussling there, Albert.
I think the Rustlers might have got robbed on that call, Rahshaun. I think they came up with that interception.
That's tough. It looked like both guys had their hands on it. Usually the tie goes to the offense, but a tough play there for the Rustlers. First to goal at the 8. They hand it off. Actually, Nolan going to keep it himself. Near side, gets outside the numbers, turns the corner at the 5, dives for the pylon, and just shy down at the 1-yard line. Out of bounds with 12:22 left in this first quarter. Gauchos not wasting any time here, Albert. quickly. They're back on the ball. They hand it off. Fisher up the middle and in the end zone. And it's a touchdown for Saddleback on their very first possession of the ball game. So 12:18 left in this first quarter, and the Gauchos go up 6-0. As Algene Fisher featured prominently on that opening drive. They're going to go for two now. Here's Nolan rolling and now throwing up in the back of the end zone, and that one swatted away by the Rustlers. Far corner, that was Isaiah Palmer climbing the ladder to bat that one down. And so the score remains 6-0. As under Mark McElroy, 21st season for the Gauchos, he's known to go for two constantly, and no surprise there as he does, and the Rustlers able to be ready for that and bat that ball away. Beautiful night here in South Orange County. As the sun is slowly setting here, we're underneath the pink sky, and right in front of us is all the juking and jiving on the 405 freeway, those headed towards LA while others headed the opposite direction going to the San Diego area. As it will be the Rustlers' turn now offensively. And the kickoff by Kevon Leonardo. This one gets into the end zone, but going to be taken by Jones at the goal line. Jones up the middle where he's undercut at about the 25-yard line. A helmet went flying, and that belongs to the tackler, Jonathan Jefferson, on the special teams, a sophomore out of Citrus Hill, sophomore tailback. So prior to the game, Nate Espinoza was out there warming up. He is in uniform, but he will not take the field for this first drive. Not sure if we'll see him at all tonight, to be honest with you. He was limited in practice this week. Rustlers very thin at the quarterback position as Zach Lewis will get the start. His third consecutive. And the first play is a run right up the gut and nothing doing as that front is there and solid for Mission Viejo. Led up there by Emmanuel Ukaligbe, big 310-pound freshman out of North Carolina. One-yard pickup, 2nd and 9, high snap. Lewis takes it, rolls to his right, throws downfield, and incomplete. Having to make the adjustment there was Hobbs, and unable to do so as Hobbs was running in. Lewis threw that one out and just overshot Hobbs by a little bit, and it brings up a 3rd down and 9. Lewis steps up to change the play. 5 left on the play clock. Twin wide receivers, takes the snap, looks near side, and diving backwards to make the catch is right, just outside the numbers at the 30-yard line. They mark him down at the 32, but well shy of the first down, and that brings up a 4th, and the Rustlers be forced to punt. And you wonder why, if you're Lewis, you're not looking towards the sticks there on 3rd down.
Considering the Gauchos gave the Rustlers a bit of a gift by going for 2 and failing to convert, you'd think you'd probably want to go for that 1st down and try to get a score and at least go 1 up on the Gauchos.
Rustlers had their issues on punt return coverage last week, and they face a tall task here today. Here's the directional kick by Casper. It's a line drive kick, and it's going to be taken by the return man, Poma. He spins out of trouble and across midfield. And there he goes at the 40, outside the numbers at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. Tries to cut it back in, tiptoes the sideline, dives for the pylon. And let's see, did he get in? No call yet. They mark him out at the 5. So it's the return man, Sean Poma, with a huge return there, and the punt return coverage woes continue here for the Rustlers.
You said it there, Rahshaun. It looks like that return was down a lot further than he was. I think they were fortunate to knock him off outside of bounds and prevent that score.
Last week, Rustlers outgained the return game 356 to 185. That's punt returns and kickoff returns combined. Give up a huge gain there to Poma, and it's 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. They send Elijah Jefferson in motion. Play fake. Nolan rolling right, throwing right, back of the end zone, incomplete. He overshot his man in the back of the end zone there. It looked like O'Brien was the intended receiver. He was behind the Rustler defense, but thrown just out of his grasp by Nolan. Nolan, the bounce back from Middle Tennessee State University, played his high school ball at Paloma Valley. Shout out to Eric Pesolano, the Big E, from out that area. Threw for 9,000 yards in his high school career, 104 touchdowns. All-time leading passer in Paloma Valley High School history. Takes the snap here. They give it to Jefferson on the end around. Turns the corner at the 5. Oh, a big shot by Jonathan Earl right at the goal line. And a flag comes in. And let's see here. I don't know if that was helmet to helmet, Albert.
It didn't look like from mine, but that was definitely an aggressive hit.
It was an aggressive hit. It looked like it was more forearm than anything else. Didn't look like he led with a helmet. But the officials are going to talk about this one, and this could be so illegal helmet contact against Jonathan Earl. Says our white hat tonight, Blair Havens. Not sure I agree with that call, but makes it a 1st and goal inside the 1. Fisher, the deep back, out of the pistol is Nolan. Takes the snap, gives it to Fisher, straight ahead. He scoots, he dives, he's in the end zone, and it's another touchdown for Saddleback. So Algene Fisher, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and the Gauchos lead this one 12-0 with 11:16 to play here in this first quarter. This team can score points in a hurry. They led OCC last week 30-0 within the first 20 minutes of the ball game. Up 12-0 here. And we're just shy of 4 minutes to play. And they fake it. Here's Nolan on the option with Freem. He pitches it to the kicker. The kicker gets it into the end zone on the far sideline, just inside the pylon. And so that 2 they missed the last time, they get it right back here this time. And Mark McElroy, ever the special teams artist there, with the fake, getting the 2, and it's now 14-0 in favor of the Gauchos. Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles here with you, and a tough start here for the Rustlers. They elected to defer. Short kickoff allowed Saddleback to get right down the field and get into the end zone. Rustlers ensuing possession, they go 3 and out, and it was a huge punt return by Sean Poma. Made it 1st and goal inside the 5 for Saddleback. And Algene Fisher caps his 2nd straight drive with a touchdown run. This one a little pooch kick, and it gets out of bounds. So Saddleback breaking out all the stops here tonight, Albert.
I'd say so. Hopefully the Rustlers can take advantage of this field position, maybe get down the field and respond for their first score. Luckily, they missed that first 2-point conversion and then converted on the second one, so it's still only a 2-possession game right now for the Rustlers.
So they called an illegal procedure on that kick as it goes out of bounds. So the Rustlers will have it 1st down and 10 where the ball went out at the 39-yard line, going right to left here. No Tyreek Bell for Saddleback on the defensive end, their leading tackler. We're expecting to see him at some point in this game, but not in the starting lineup tonight. Did not play on that first drive. Not in there to start this second drive either, as Jackson gets the carry off the left side in between the hash and the numbers, and he's taken back aggressively at the 41-yard line. This is a Saddleback team that gives up its fair share of yards on the ground. So you figure the Rustlers may be able to come in here and run against this team a little bit. The Rustlers have been very good on the ground by their standards this season. Jackson stays in there in the pistol. High snap. He gets it again off the right side, but nothing doing once again. Ugaligby there to make the stop, but he also had some help in Sean Owens, the freshman out of Corona Del Mar. So 3rd and 8 coming up for the Rustlers. Ball in between the hash marks. Lewis alerts the offensive line of the play. 4 wide receiver, twin set. Lewis out of the pistol. Another high snap. Play fake, looking far side, and that one nearly picked off. Intended for Hobbs. But a nice job defensively there by the Gauchos. Looked like that may have been Tristan West, the sophomore out of J. Sarah, getting in there to break that one up. And another 3 and out for the Rustlers to start this one. 2 men back to receive once again for Saddleback. It's Poma along with Kai Ross. Here's a rugby-style kick. This one sends Poma retreating at the 20-yard line. He stops. Now he starts a little shucking and jiving before spilling over at the 28-yard line outside that far hash. And it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Gauchos there. So the Rustler defense in desperate need of a stop here. They got gashed on the first drive and were left to defend a 5-yard field on the second drive. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-possession ball game here for Saddleback. And this is just the 3rd time they've touched the ball tonight. Trips set. Trips to this near side. Have 1 receiver to the far side. Ball far hash mark for Nolan. Receivers wide on this near side, all the way outside this near hash. They set up the little screen to Poma. Poma getting chased, tries to reverse fields, and Reich is able to get there in the backfield and push him down from behind. I beg your pardon, that's Cody Saval there making the stop. And Poma actually turned nothing into a negative opportunity into no gain there. This time they pump it to Poma. Now Nolan going to tuck it and run at the 30. Gets outside, out of bounds, and he's twisted out there by Jones. And the home crowd would like a penalty there against Jones. He may have. Looks like he probably added a little bit of extra English there after the quarterback Nolan had got out of bounds. Obviously, some frustration here for this Rustler defense. Gain of 3 there makes it a 3rd and 7. Nolan with 3 wide receivers. Pressure coming. He spins out of it. Now has a bunch of green in front of him. Stops at the line of scrimmage. Lost it to midfield. Caught there up the far sideline and tripped up at the 40 is the wideout.
Disappointing play for the Rustlers there. You had them on 3rd and 7. Couldn't prevent them from getting that conversion on the 1st down. And they missed a very key critical that freed up Nolan to make that pass.
Looks like that was Jonathan Jefferson making the reception there. Fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 at the Rustler 40. Play fake on the fly sweep. Nolan steps up in the pocket, looking near side, going up top, but unable to come down with the interception there is J.J. Young. Nice coverage there by Young, as he was locked up 1-on-1 against Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. 2nd leading receiver on this team. Castaneda, 36 catches entering this game. Cole Harity with 37 to lead the team. But J.J. Young, the freshman out of Des Moines, Washington, getting the PBU there. Ball far hash mark out of the pistol. 8:32 left in this first quarter. 14-0 Saddleback. Gauchos with the ball. They send the running back in motion. On a draw, it's Nolan. The speeds are up the middle. A spin move into the secondary. Ball came out after he hit the turf at the 30-yard line. They mark him down at the 29 of the Rustlers. And that's a 11-yard pickup and enough for another Gaucho first down. Twin wide receivers. Ball in between the hash marks. Nolan takes the snap, looks far side at the 35. Pass is caught there. And immediately taken down on the turf was Elijah Jefferson. And every play they shuffle in 2 or 3 new skill position players, does Saddleback. But continuing to have their foot on the gas with this tempo. Nolan out of the pistol. Ball far hash mark. 2nd and 6 from the 26. They give it to, actually Nolan runs with it near side to Harity off his fingertips. It dribbles out of bounds at the 25-yard line, incomplete. And that's a look at some of the RPO type stuff that they do here. Talking to Coach Mitchell before the game, he says it's important that his secondary especially is diligent because they'll run zone read type stuff, but the receivers won't stop and block. They'll continue to run routes, and Nolan will have an opportunity to throw the ball over the top. This time 4 wide receivers. He has all kinds of time, lofts it up and nearly picked off, but snatched out of the sky on the far sideline by the Gauchos. And that's Clinton Allen making the grab and getting into the end zone for the touchdown. First touchdown pass of the night for Chance Nolan. His 25th of the season. And Allen, who has been quiet this season, the sophomore out of Seattle, Washington. That's just his 5th grab of the year. First touchdown of the year. And it's 20-0 Saddleback. They say it's a game of inches, Albert. The point after a tip by Freem is good. So with 7:31 left in the first, it's all Gauchos. They lead it 21-0 here on SportsNetUSA.net. And don't forget, Golden West Rustler football right here on your home of the Rustlers is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Located at the 91 and Euclid, and also on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. Saddleback here looking every bit the part of the number 4 team in the country as they've come out here and blitzed the Rustlers by a score of 21-0. Talking to Coach McElroy before the game, playing a little coy, saying this is a brand new team with a bunch of new players. It's a team that benefited from some momentum at the end of last year as Jones takes this kickoff at the 20. He breaks it outside the numbers at the 30. He's pushed out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. It's a Saddleback team that last season started the year 0-2, but won 7 of 9 to close the 2018 campaign to finish 7-4 on the year, including a bowl win over Bakersfield. But they were set up for a collision course with RCC in the final game of the regular season. Lost that one 28-7. It appears those two teams on that same collision course here in the 2019 season. Lewis in the slot. Atencio catches at the 36, turns it up and is hit there immediately. Pick up about 5 there on the reception. Tajay Morant in there in the backfield at a tailback. Under 7 to play here in the first quarter. 21-0 Saddleback. 2nd and 5 from the 37. Near hash mark. They give it to Morant straight ahead across the 40-yard line. And he falls forward to the 41. It's going to be just shy of the sticks. makes it a 3rd and 1. Most favorable 3rd down situation the Rustlers have had tonight, Albert.
Yeah, it's going to be a key down for the Rustlers here. Need to make the most of this possession and try to find the end zone.
3rd and 1 from just inside the 40. And that was weird. It was a delayed snap, but everybody on that offensive line moved. But the snap was almost like a knuckleball back to Lewis.
That false start could be a little drive killer for the Rustlers here. It's the last thing you want when you're 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they got ahead of the chains for the first time tonight. Now they're forced to have a 3rd and 6. 6:14 left. First quarter action. Rustlers looking for their first down of the night. Lewis, pressure coming. Flushed out of the pocket, rolling right, pumps outside the numbers at the 30. Just lost it up in the air. Out of bounds. Incomplete. And that brings up another 4th down here. So rough start here for Golden West, as the Saddleback defense has looked a lot stiffer, much faster, I think, than expected coming into tonight. Take a look at the numbers. They give up their fair share of yards here. I don't think Saddleback's ever been mistaken for a defensive power for all the great things that they can do offensively and with the 2-point conversions and whatnot, but a timeout taken from the far sideline for the Rustlers. 5:58 to play. So Golden West having some issues with guys coming on and off the field here on this 4th down punt and forced to burn a timeout, their first of the half. And it comes with 5:58 to play. No doubt a tough stretch for the Rustlers. You go on the road, take on the number 1 team in the country last week in Riverside. And you continue that road trip the following week against the number 4 team in the country, this Saddleback team. So I guess if you want to play him, it's best to just kind of get it out the way. I was talking to Troy Thomas, the head coach at Servite High School earlier this year, and his first 2 Trinity League games of the season, they had to play St. John Bosco in Modern Day consecutive weeks. The top 2 or 3 teams in the country at the time, depending on which polls you were looking at. And he said, look, we'd rather get it out of the way early. That way we know where we stand, and when we get ready for the rest of the league, we'll be ready to go. Figured they'd start playing at a much different level earlier in the season, having had those 2 games earlier in the league part of the season, and it's paid off for them as they've gone on to clinch a 3rd place spot inside the Trinity League and should be in the Division I playoffs this season, as that punt went out of bounds. So no return there for Saddleback. 5:51 left in this first. Chance Nolan, the number 1 dual threat quarterback in the country. And so far, he's looked the part. He's looked like magic out here. Able to run it, able to throw it. Here is Algene Fisher getting it to the outside. Fisher across midfield and finally wrangled from behind inside the 40-yard line. And there's an injured Rustler on the play. Same player that made the tackle. Can't quite see who it is from here. But on the sideline, and a whole deal of pain there is that injured Rustler. As we're high above Diablo Stadium here on the campus of Mission Viejo High School. There is a stadium on campus in the works for Saddleback College. It was thought to be ready this season, but looks like it may not be ready until the 2020 campaign. And so the Gauchos the last couple of years have made Mission Viejo High School their home. And just up the road here on the 405, Saddleback's campus, I beg your pardon, is just a few miles south of where we are right now. So a short trip here. Definitely not the trip that the Rustlers used to take when they played their home games at OCC. That was a good 8-mile trip. Saddleback's campus a lot closer to Mission Viejo than, of course, that Rustler trek. Of course, Rustlers don't have that issue anymore, being able to play all their games at Rustler Field in beautiful Surf City, USA. Still attending to the injured Rustler. He's out of bounds, but right on the white. So still somewhat the field of play. And right in between the 35 or the 25 and the 30-yard line. And now there's someone coming from across the field to help as well. Not sure it's a concerned parent or someone from the Saddleback staff. And up on his feet is the linebacker, Jones. And you hate to see that. Jones is a young man who, of course, started the season as a running back, saw the depth there, knew he only had really one shot last handful of games or so, requested to make the move to linebacker where there was definitely a need there at that position, knowing that it may be his best chance to get to the next level and continue his football career. So he's made a lot of sacrifices for this game and to better himself as well. And he's really been a bright spot since being inserted in the lineup. Immediately became a starter once he made the transition. Here's Nolan, tries to escape, and the Rustlers get to him for the first time tonight. He's sacked way back near midfield. Nice job by the Rustlers there on that defensive line. Yeah.
That's going to be just the stop they need at this stage of the game. They're going to face a 2nd and 16. Hopefully they can keep him at that level and get the ball back.
That was Anthony Garcia making the sack there. Brings up a 2nd and 16 near midfield. Nolan fires near side, coming back and unable to make the catch is the wide receiver Garcia Castaneda. And at the 35-yard line of the Rustlers, he dove backwards towards the line of scrimmage to try to get his hands underneath that one, but was unable to corral it. Brings up a 3rd and long. Ball at the 46-yard line of the Rustlers. Gauchos going left to right here, enjoying a 21-point lead. And they struck in a hurry to start this one. Still first quarter action here from Mission Viejo High School. Here's Nolan taking the snap out of the gun. Rolling right, stops, pressure coming, now reverses field. Sele Pamasa chasing him, gets blindsided. Now here goes Nolan, tucks it and runs, gets the first down and more. At the 20-yard line, reverses field now. Breaks another tackle, now reverses field again, going back far side, 15, cuts it back inside, in between the hash at the 10. Wow, he falls forward and is finally taken down inside the 10-yard line, just shy of the 5. The guy is like a video game.
You can say that again, Rahshaun. Like, that was a very impressive run. I don't know how many tackles Nolan broke to get that first down and then some on that play.
It will all go for naught, however. Well, no. Replay 3rd down. So it was an illegal chop block, but they mark it the penalty at the spot of foul penalty. So they mark it, so they put the ball at the 30-yard line. So we'll replay 3rd down. So it's going to be a 3rd and 2. So it's a spot of foul penalty, so they mark it back at the 30. It would have been 1st and goal inside the 10. Instead of 3rd and 2 here at the 30. Nolan straight ahead, actually keeps it himself. Scoots on the outside the numbers, Nolan, and then he just scatters out of bounds here on this near sideline inside the 15, just shy of the 10. Another 1st down for the Gauchos, and 6 is making things happen here for Saddleback.
That was one heck of a run out of Nolan. Yeah, they got that 15-yard penalty, but Nolan says, meh, I'll get that yards right back on the very next play.
So he gets out of bounds at the 13 of the Rustlers. 17-yard pickup on that last scamper. Works out of the pistol once more. Ball near hash mark. Hands it off Fisher, and he's hit backwards as he got to that 2nd level. He gets across the 15, though, however, and down at the 12. Oh, no. Actually, they say no gain there. So I beg your pardon. Under 3 minutes to play. Full house backfield now. Nolan throwing on the run, has Fisher in the flat, and Fisher tackled around the ankles there by Brighton Levy. And he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Looks like they're going to credit him with 1 yard there, so it's going to be a 3rd and 9 on this play.
So 4 wide receivers for Nolan. Ball on the near hash mark. Fisher is the lone back. Nolan looking left, now looks right, rolls right, going to tuck it, now shovels it to Harity. Inside the 10, a spin move, and he falls backwards on his back at about the 5. And mark him down at the 4, and he's going to be just shy of the 1st down marker. So it brings up a 4th down, first 4th down of the night here for the Gauchos. Let's see what they do.
Well, with the way they're rolling today, Rahshaun, you might as well try and go for it. You're up by 3 scores on the Rustlers. Even if you don't get it, you'll still get the benefit of having a horrible field position on the Rustlers.
As you said, the offense stays out there. 4th and short. Nolan hands it off Fisher, and Fisher may have gotten hit across the line of scrimmage. Coming off the far side and into the backfield was Reich. But I think the hit and the momentum carried Fisher across the line to gain, and it does. So it brings up a 1st and goal from just inside the 3. We see a huddle here from Saddleback. Haven't seen too many of those here tonight, because they've been moving. They send Jefferson in motion. They hand it off Fisher, off the left guard. Fisher stood up near the goal line and pushed back. Gaucho defense, Rustler defense, I beg your pardon, swarming to the ball tackler. Chambers was there along with Saval. Reich coming up from the secondary as well. But it is a 2nd and goal at the 1. Nolan. Fisher once again, same play. This time Algene Fisher gets into the end zone. His 3rd touchdown of the night. And it is now 27-0 Gauchos.
Gauchos making it look easy so far with all the run that they've run so far on the Rustlers. I don't think the Rustlers can do anything about it.
Left-footed kicker framed to attempt the point after. High snap, but the kick is up and good. So with 32 seconds left in the 1st, it's been all Gauchos. They lead this one 28-0 here on SportsNetUSA.net. And you knew entering the season, you take a look at the schedule and you kind of circle a couple of games. These two road tilts back-to-back against Riverside and Saddleback respectively. And you figured it would be a tough week regardless, or a tough 2-week stretch regardless, and so far it has been that. Rustlers in quite the hole to start this one. Kick taken at the 2-yard line. And breaking the tackle still on his feet outside the numbers down at the 30. There's a return man, Levy. So 22 seconds left in this first quarter. And Rustlers looking for answers here offensively. If you joined us late, Nate Espinoza is in uniform tonight. He did warm up prior to the game. But uncertain that we'll see him tonight. They give it to Jackson straight ahead, and Jackson across the 20, just shy of the 25-yard line. They give Perez the stop there, and that play will take us to the end of the first quarter. So after one, it's Saddleback 28, Golden West nothing, as you're listening to Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles here with you on this first Saturday in November. Expected somewhat cool temperatures tonight here in South Orange County, but I tell you what, nothing cool about this Saddleback offense. They have been scorching hot to start this one, Albert. And Chance Nolan looks every bit the part.
Oh, yeah. Nolan has been running the ball, throwing the ball, pretty much doing whatever he wants to do on that field. 4 straight possessions, 4 straight scores for the Gauchos so far. And, Rahshaun, I'm having flashbacks to last week's game that I was at for East Los Angeles versus College of the Canyons. They had scored on 6 out of 7 possessions in the first half alone.
Yeah, it's Rustlers haven't been able to stop Saddleback at all here tonight. So get right on the mark with that one. Hopefully they can get some things going here in this second quarter as they flip fields. Rustlers now will be going left to right to start this second quarter. Jackson will be the deep back. Play fake. They throw it in the flat. And Morant has the ball hitting right in the hands and falls to the turf, incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down and 6. Rustler ball at their own 24-yard line.
Now, I know if you're the Rustlers, you're probably starting to panic whenever you're on the offense, but with plays like that, you got to be able to ease up, take your time, because the Rustlers should have come up with that pass and gained some yards out of it, but unfortunately it just didn't happen.
They try the run one more time, and this time it's Morant, and he's not going to get anything. Probably even a loss there. And so Max Casper returned to the field, and it's time to punt once more. High spiral kick from Casper. Ross catching it over his shoulder at the 35-yard line, makes one cut, gets upfield across midfield, runs into his own man at the 45, still on his feet at the 40, and down at the 35-yard line of the Rustlers. There is a flag on the play, however. The return game, Albert Robles, has been huge for Saddleback here tonight, in addition to what they're doing offensively. So it'll be coming back. They call it a block in the back.
Rustlers going to catch a break on that penalty. Since it's the spot of the foul, the flag was on the 33-yard line. They're going to push it back yards from that.
So instead of having the ball deep inside of Rustler territory, they'll start it 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Poma will be the deep back as Nolan operates out of the pistol with 4 wide receivers. Hands it off to Poma off the right side, a little stutter step before being wrestled down from behind by the Rustlers. Jumping on his back there was Garcia to make the tackle. A pickup of about 5 brings up a 2nd down and 5 inside the 25-yard line. They throw it in the flat. Poma with the catch, 25-yard line, jukes inside, breaks a leg tackle, now gang tackled at about the 30 and driven backwards, but they give him the forward progress to the 31. 3 yards there on the catch by the tailback, and a 3rd and about 2 coming up. Quickly they get back on the ball. Nolan will keep it himself, and he may be short of the line to gain there. Kramer coming up there to make the stop. Looked like J.J. Young got in there as well. And that brings up a 4th down. And so the Rustlers get a stop defensively for the first time tonight. And enter the punting unit for Saddleback. But you always got to be on guard when you're playing against a Saddleback team. You never know what kind of tricks they may have up their sleeve. It's Leonardo into punt, a high snap. He snatches it out of the Mission Viejo sky. And that one hit the leg of a Rustler, but right into the hands of Branson, who picks it up off a roll. Branson across midfield. Branson has the sideline at the 30, cuts it back 20. Wrestled down from behind at the 15-yard line. And I beg your pardon, that's Brighton Levy there on the return. Levy there making a name for himself in the return game.
And that's just the kind of return the Rustlers needed in this game so far. They needed that momentum. It wasn't looking good, but luckily the return is able to make something of that play. Hopefully the Rustlers can walk away with a touchdown with this possession.
First time tonight the Rustlers have gotten into Gaucho territory. And what do we have here? Jackson in the backfield with Lewis. They play fake. Lewis delivers it near side, a dangerous pass in the flat. It was caught there by Hobbs, but behind the line of scrimmage.
Looks like it's going to be about a loss of 1 for the Rustlers on that play, Rahshaun.
So Rustlers trying their own RPO game, and Lewis is thankful that one didn't get picked off. 2nd and 11 from the 16-yard line. Lewis takes the snap. Chest high, delivers over the middle. Incomplete. Adam Armstrong had a step on the defender there, but unable to hold on to it.
It's one for pass, but it looks like they're going to say that had bounced off the ground, so he never had possession of the ball.
So 3rd and 10. Are you thinking 3 here if you don't pick up the first down?
I'm thinking I'd rather take the points if I'm not able to get into the end zone.
Here's the 3rd down play. From the 16, ball near hash mark. Snap taken, waist high, throws the fade, back of the end zone, nobody home. Atencio, the intended receiver there. But never really had a play on that one at all. The coverage there by Robert Rahimi. And so here comes the kicking unit. And we haven't seen much of this so far this year. Max Casper kicking field goals. This one going to be from 33 yards on the near hash mark for the left-footed kicker. High snap. The hold is down. The kick is good. So Casper gets the Rustlers on the board. And they trail here 28-3 with 10:57 left in this first half. We saw Jose Orredondo warming up quite a bit before this game. But Casper called on to do the kicking duties there. And he's able to split the uprights and get Golden West on the board. So it's 28-3 with 10:57 left here in this first half. So a lot of positives. You come up with a stop defensively. Big return there by Levy to get you inside of Diablo territory. Or pardon me, Gaucho territory. That was bound to happen, Albert. Bound to happen. There's all this Mission Viejo, Diablo signage around. It was bound to happen.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it myself.
I've been trying to fight it all night long, and finally it got me. Inside of Gaucho territory, meanwhile, and then Casper able to make the field goal. Here's Casper with the kicking duties once again. He kicks it off to Puma, who takes it at the 8-yard line. Puma breaks the tackle. There goes Puma across the 30, outside the numbers, and pushed out of bounds just inside the 35-yard line, shy of the 40. Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net, brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. New car deals, used car deals, whatever kind of deals you want. I'm pretty sure those guys got it. Reach out to them on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Also, you can go visit them on the 91 and Euclid. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim, because, of course, they support community college sports and education. 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Gauchos going right to left here in this second quarter. Ball near hash mark. Nolan taking the snap. Play fake. Has a man wide open up the boundary on the far sideline. Oh, a hurdle. He got airborne inside the 40-yard line and out of bounds at about the 35 of the Rustlers. And that was Cole Harity, looking like an Olympic hurdler there, going up and over a Rustler defender and landing on 2 feet nonetheless. And tempo again here for the Gauchos. This pass thrown behind the line of scrimmage, in between the hands of Fisher and out of bounds. How about that jump there by Harity, though?
That was quite the feat of athleticism from Harity. He got so airborne. I'm speechless right now. Like, that was probably one of the most impressive plays I've seen in the game so far.
Quite the feat of athleticism. I like that, Albert Robles. 2nd and 10, and there's some movement. It looks like this one may go against the Rustlers. We'll see.
Yeah, Rustlers getting a little jumpy on that play. Probably going to be encroachment.
So they're going to get Alexander there on the encroachment. Freshman out of Davie, Florida. So 2nd and 5 from the 30 for Nolan out of the pistol. They send Poma in motion. Nolan pumps, goes right up the middle and dives right towards the sticks. Going to be maybe about an inch shy at the 25-yard line. The line to gain was just inside the 25, but closer to the 24. And so it'll be 3rd and inches here for the Gauchos. Nolan. They go to the ground one more time. A burst up the middle and a big-time run inside the 10 and down at the 7-yard line. And that was Poma once again. And they hurry and get back on the ball. Nolan, Poma, dancing in the backfield, gets it upfield, off right guard inside the 5, and down at the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 4 now for Saddleback.
So far, it's looking like the Gauchos are going to get another score on this possession. Hopefully, the Rustlers defense can step up and at least keep them to a field goal.
Twin wide receivers. They send Jefferson in motion to the far side. Nolan stops, pops, back of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Mission. And that was Garcia Castaneda making the touchdown grab. His 10th of the season to lead this team. And it's now 34-0. Saddleback. I did it again. I said Mission, Albert. Come on, man.
It's going to look confusing. I mean, like, I understand the mix-up. I mean, you got a giant MV right there in the center of the field. It's right there in their faces.
Oh, they call them struggles. Here's the kick by Freem. It is up and through. So 35-7 our score here with 9:13 to play in this first half. So Nolan getting it done here today. Couple of touchdown passes. Has also been downright dangerous with his legs. Algene Fisher with 3 rushing touchdowns. Those all came in the first quarter. And it's been that kind of night for Saddleback here tonight. So Levy back deep to receive it, standing on his own goal line. Leonardo to put it on the tee. And this one going to be taken at about the 15 by one of the up men. Runs a backwards U and now finally turns upfield and gets ahead to the 20. All his momentum carried him back towards the goal line before finally being able to reverse it upfield. It'll be a 1st down and 10 for the Rustlers at their own 20-yard line. We see Morant and Jackson in the backfield for the first time tonight. Don't see that much from John Shipp. This time they give it to Morant on a little stretch play. Morant cuts it back. Tajeo speed burst through the 2nd level and up to the 30-yard line. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. They mark him down at the 32. And Golden West hurrying it up to the line of scrimmage as well. 8:57 to play here in this 2nd quarter. Lewis instructing the offensive line of the play. Ball at the Rustler 32-yard line going left to right. Near hash mark. Lewis, play fake, delivers near side. Morant catches it, turns it back towards the middle and upfield across the 35-yard line, and he falls down at the 37. Another positive gain there for the Rustlers as he picks up 5 there, brings up a 2nd down and 5 as we're under 8.5 to play here in the 2nd quarter. 3 receivers. They give it to Morant. Stretch play once again, far side, as he's in between the hash and down just shy of the 40 at the 39-yard line. So he picks up 2 there and going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 3. I'd much rather call it 4 as we hit the 8-minute mark. Lewis looking over to the sideline for the play. Rustlers coaching staff signaling in the plays from the far sideline. Hobbs will line up in the slot. Near side, right at the hash. Ball just outside the 40. They hand it off. Morant tripped up, stays on his feet though. A nice balancing act across the 45-yard line and up ahead to the 47. A 1st down there. A pickup of about 8 there for Tajay. And another 1st down for the Rustlers. First drive tonight, they've had multiple 1st downs. And now they huddle with 7:28 left. Coming up at the half, we'll take you through some of the high school scores from last night. Get you ready for the brackets that will be released tomorrow in the CIF Southern section. Lewis out to Morant, and that one hit him on the left hand, was unable to corral it and bring it into his body as it fell to the turf. Outside the numbers near midfield and brings up a 2nd down and 10. And some of those throws Lewis has just missed tonight. Jackson right behind Lewis, who's in the pistol. 9 on the play clock, 7:10 left game clock. They go with the draw. Jackson makes one man miss across midfield. Jackson, the bowling ball, still on his feet across the 40, in between the hash marks and down inside the 35. So Jackson finding his most room here tonight, picking up the big run there. And it brings up another 1st down for the Rustlers, starting to put together a little bit of a drive here.
Big time run for Jackson on that play on the Rustlers. So far until that play, it was pretty much around every single pass. I think he had like maybe 2 targets, 1 catch, and a couple of runs.
He's really come on late here, really since the West LA game. Morant out of the pistol. They go back to him. Left side, but the Gauchos having nothing to do with it this time as he runs right into the arms of David Neal, the freshman out of Westlake High School in Texas. Famed Westlake High. You talk about Texas high school football. They historically have been one of the better programs in that great state. But I don't think they want that smoke here in California. You didn't hear that from me, Albert Robles. Play fake. Lewis looking up top for Hobbs. Hobbs wrestling, goes airborne, makes the catch. End zone. Touchdown, Rustlers. They threw it up to the big fella, and he came down with it.
Now you talk about your feat of athleticism, Rahshaun, from that play earlier, but that was a big-time catch and a big-time touchdown for the Rustlers. Much needed score on that drive.
Extra point attempt is good by Casper. So it's now 35-10 Rustlers, 5:59 to play here in the 2nd quarter. And a great adjustment there by Hobbs. Looked like that ball was a little bit underthrown, and Hobbs came back, was able to make the grab, haul it in, and get into the end zone. Nice to see Hobbs be able to make that play. The pride of Elkhart, Indiana, 6'3", 255-pound sophomore, his 3rd touchdown grab of the season. I'm just kind of waiting for him to become more and more of an integral part of this offense. He's shown the burst at times when they can find him. He's able to do great things with the ball. That time they found him, and you talk about great feats of athleticism, Albert. I didn't know that he had that in him. Never seen him be able to go up and make a jump ball like that. We've seen the majority of his touches have been kind of over the middle in the slot. But a great job there. And Lewis throwing it up there, giving him a chance. And Hobbs rewarding him for it. As Casper puts it on the tee, left-footed kicker kicks this one high and out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So Rustlers obviously don't want to kick it to any of these Gaucho return men. Just as well would take the illegal procedure penalty. And it's almost like you're playing with one hand behind your back, right? I mean, you can't kick it to them because the return game is so good. And as a result, they get prime field position to start this drive. They started at their own 40.
It definitely is a bit of a vicious cycle. I mean, they definitely have the leg to kick it down to where they need it to, but for whatever reason, their coverage just kind of fails, and the return team just shoves it down their throats.
Here's Nolan back to work. Throws it in the flat near side. That pass caught by Jefferson. Or did he catch it? No, incomplete. 2nd and 10. All right, is it complete or incomplete? One ref had incomplete, another ref had complete. The clock continues to roll, however. So that tells me it had to be a completion. Completion for no gain. So it remains 2nd and 10. Ball on the near hash mark at the Gaucho 40-yard line. Going right to left here in this second quarter. And everybody moved. Mostly the guys in white. And if you're a Rustler fan, don't want to see that. Well, you kind of take your pick, right? The whole defensive line moved there. So 5-yard penalty, moves the ball up, brings up a 2nd and 5, with 5:21 left. Nolan near hash mark, twin wide receivers. One back, they give it to him, and is that ball out? No. Poma, the ball carrier, held on to it. As he gets close to midfield, about 2 yards shy, though, however. And midfield is right where the line to gain is, as we're under 5 to play in this first half. Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles here with you. First Saturday in November. Wow, where'd the time go? Nolan, play fake, throws it up, and oh, what a play there by Earl. Earl was beat on the play. He had eyes in the backfield. Those were those plays we were talking about earlier, Albert, where they would run the zone read stuff and the wide receivers continue to run their routes. So Earl got beat there, but a nice job to recover and use every inch of that 6'3" frame to get a hand on it and bat that one away. Tremendous job by the converted wide receiver.
Big time play. Hopefully the Rustlers can actually stop on this drive because the Gauchos are going for it right now.
It's 4th and 2. They certainly are going for it. Offense stays on the field. Nolan with it. Dangerous threat to run it, but doesn't need to. He has Clinton Allen wide open over the middle, and Allen going to get into the end zone untouched. Touchdown, Gauchos. 52 yards on the completion, and the 3rd touchdown pass tonight. So the extra point by Freem is good. And it's 42-10. Just a blown coverage there by the Rustlers. Nobody accounted for number 23, Clinton Allen. He was wide open. So Nolan with 3 touchdown passes. Algene Fisher with 3 touchdown runs. And it's 42-10. And we're just under 4.5 away from halftime. Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles here with you on this Saturday night. And this kick going to carry to the back of the end zone and out of bounds to be a touchback for the Rustlers.
Now the Gauchos may have made that score look easy on that play. However, the Rustlers have been clearly gaining some momentum and taking advantage of the Gaucho defense. Hopefully they can keep that momentum and get another score on this upcoming drive.
Rustlers coming off their best drive of the night. This time they started from their own 25-yard line. Tajay Morant around the edge. Morant runs into a defender and is able to stay on his feet momentarily before going down just outside the 40-yard line. And Zach Broomball making the stop there. Out of Corona Centennial High School. Saw a lot of Corona Centennial alums last week up at Riverside. 1st and 10 from the 38 after that 13-yard pickup from Tajay. Twin wide receivers, ball far hash marks. They give it to Morant once again. Actually, this is Jackson with it. Jackson is stiff for him. Jackson staying on his feet before finally getting pushed out of bounds about a yard shy of the first down marker. And he is oh so tough to take down, Albert.
Jackson looked very impressive on that run. Two great back-to-back runs. Like he had a really good run on the previous play where he got that first down, and 9 yards on this drive here.
So 2nd and 1 after that pickup by Jackson. Ball at the 47-yard line of the Rustlers. Morant back in there at a tailback. 4 wide receivers. Lewis steps up, looking to throw it downfield. Has a man caught inside the 15. It's Wright making the catch inside the 10 and down just shy of the 5. What a beautiful ball thrown there by Lewis. We talked about his struggles with the deep ball, but no issues there. Tremendous throw there. His best of the night. "45 yards on the pickup. 1st and goal from the 8. Here's Morant. Runs into trouble. Spins out of it. Stays on his feet. Tries to continue the run, but going to be drugged down to the turf. A couple of Gauchos get to him. Kai Ross leading the charge there. And no gain on the play. Brings up a 2nd and goal from the 8. And we saw Lewis make some really good and I keep going back to it, Albert. Back to that Fullerton game to start the season where he had to come in relief for Nate Espinoza. And we saw him make some really good plays. And at times he's gotten back to that. Other times not so much. But that last throw was a thing of beauty. 2nd and goal from the 8. Lewis flushed out of the pocket. Throws it back in the end zone. Did he get his toe down? No. Casey Carr back there. He caught it, but was unable to come down inbounds. It brings up a 3rd and goal from the 8. 1:58 to play in this 2nd quarter. So you saw the pressure get to Lewis that time. Rustlers got to hurry. Still trying to get the play in. Under 10 on the play clock. Jackson in there as the tailback. 3 on the play clock. You got to call a timeout. You got to call a timeout. And a flag comes in. They get the time. They got the timeout first. So they get the timeout with 1:58 left. Their 2nd charge timeout of the half. A very important 3rd and goal play here for the Rustlers. So no delay of game as they got the timeout before. As we're high above the roof here inside Diablo Stadium. Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles. Tough half for the Rustlers on special teams, defensively, even offensively at times. But this second quarter has been a lot better than the first quarter was, that is for sure.
Yeah, the Rustlers have definitely been making some incremental improvements on every possession that they've had so far, and this has got to be one of their strongest drives of the game. I mean, that's probably the fastest they've gotten to get into Gaucho territory so far.
Nice drive put together. Will it end in some points, however? 3rd and goal from the 8. Of course, they'd love to get into the end zone, but don't want to risk anything with 3 potentially in your back pocket. Lewis takes the snap, looking over the middle. Wide open is KC Carr. Touchdown, Rustlers. I mean, there wasn't a black jersey within 8 yards of him. Not sure how Carr got so wide open there, but Lewis found him. 2nd touchdown of the night for Lewis. And the Rustlers now trail at 42-16. Casper for the point after. High snap, but Atencio able to get that hold down, and Casper able to get it through the uprights. 42-17 our score here with 1:53 to play in this second quarter. Tremendous improvement in the second from the first for these Rustlers, as they got hit in the mouth, punched right in the jaw to start this one.
It definitely wasn't looking good to start the game, but the Rustlers, like I said before, have been making those improvements on every position that they've had, and it's starting to seem that they're finding some exploitable holes in the Gaucho defense.
So Casper will put it on the tee at the 35. Rustlers have been trying to kick it out of bounds and away from these dangerous return artists of Saddleback. This one going to be a squib kick. It bounces at the 10 and out of bounds. So once again, nothing doing, and another illegal procedure, so it'll be 35-yard line for Saddleback to start this drive. Still a lot of time for these Gauchos to strike here before this half ends. And I'm sure they're very aware that the Rustlers get the ball to start the second half. So Nolan will bring the offense onto the field. Ball near hash mark, 35-yard line. Nolan taking the snap. All kinds of time. Going to heave it deep down the field, and he overshot his intended right receiver, Garcia Castaneda. He was locked up one-on-one with Palmer. He was with him step for step, and Nolan just overshot him. And it's going to be a hold against Saddleback. They get the left tackle, Osvaldo Torres, sophomore out of Capo Valley.
Gaucho's looking to go 10 yards in the wrong direction with that penalty being called, but it's just exactly what the Rustlers need at this point in time.
1:45 left in the half. 1st and 20. And we got some movement up front. Let's see, are they going to get this? False start. There was some movement by the Rustlers as Jamie Asiata moved, but he never crossed the line of scrimmage, and that caused the right tackle there to move. Tyler Huff, and Huff is trying to plead his case that he was baited. Officials not having any of it, especially with Saddleback up 42-17. 1st and 25 now from the 20. Nolan steps up in the pockets, fires one over the middle, caught there by Harity at the 45. Spins forward, gets the first down and more.
And that was a heck of a pass and catch to Harity there. Mega yardage to actually get that first down.
Nolan on the keeper there, gets it across midfield and just shy of the Rustler 45-yard line. What about that strike though from Nolan to Harity? I mean, first and 25, just like that, 28-yard pickup.
You definitely don't see that type of play every day, but somehow the Gauchos are able to make it happen.
Tell you what, Saddleback team looks like the real deal, Albert. Saw Riverside last week, and they are dangerous. Don't get me wrong. The Saddleback team looks the part. And I think the difference is that guy right there, number 6. Chance Nolan, #1 dual threat quarterback in the country. And he is a problem.
Hopefully he's a problem that the Rustlers can contain for the rest of this game going forward. The defense have definitely stepped up for the Rustlers so far in the second quarter, and hopefully they continue doing so into the half. Nolan not making it easy, though, with that 25-yard strike. And there seems to be a lot of confusion on the field so far. I guess the refs are trying to figure out the position for the Gauchos.
Yeah, Blair Havens was talking to Mark McElroy. So I guess they were trying to figure out where the ball was going to be. There was an illegal participation against the Rustlers. So they marked the ball at the 48-yard line of Golden West. 1:18 left in this half. Nolan, the ever dangerous quarterback in the pistol, waiting for the snap. Takes it, belt high, hands it off. Actually going to keep it. Throws it on the flat far side. Oh, splitting the defense there on the far side and getting up the far sideline, hurdling before finally going down at the 10. A dangerous jump there by Harity, who once again tried to get airborne. And that is a dangerous play. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes not so not. That was one of those times where it could have went not so well for Harity. Able to bounce right back up. Still, nonetheless, he gets it down to the 11-yard line, and quickly on the ball is Saddleback. They put Harity in motion. They give it to him on the end around. I beg your pardon, that's Garcia Castaneda there trying to turn the corner, and he is down at about the 7-yard line. 47 ticks left in the half. Garcia Castaneda got out of bounds there. So a second and about 5 from the 7. Nolan looking over the middle, deflected. Beautiful play there defensively by Palmer once again. Garcia Castaneda was the intended wide receiver. And we've seen Palmer grow throughout this season. Had his bump certainly towards the beginning of the year. And a timeout going to be taken by Saddleback. Comes with 42 seconds left. Gauchos lead at 42-17. And looking for more here before we get to halftime. So with it being third down, that the board says 3rd and goal from the 7, but the 6 are still up. So normally if that's the case, then they would drop the chains. Nonetheless, huge play here for Saddleback, Albert.
Big time, and like from what I can tell, at least from my angle, looks like the Six are just short of the goal line by 1 yard.
Yeah.
So they could theoretically get a first down, and get some first downs on that play.
Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles here with you. Rustlers and the Gauchos from Mission Viejo High School. High above Diablo Stadium, 42 seconds left in this half. Algene Fisher, who's got 3 rushing touchdowns in the half, lines up right behind Nolan, the stud quarterback, who's got 3 throwing touchdowns this half. Nolan stepping up. Nolan outside the pocket, stops, in trouble, going to throw it, and deflected, picked off by the Rustlers. Not a smart throw there by Nolan. It looked like that was Isaiah Palmer there picking it off. Not sure who deflected it though. And so the Rustlers first force a turnover deep in their own zone. 26 seconds left. You wonder what Nick Mitchell will do here. If he'll try anything or just sit on it. We've seen Nolan be exceptional this half. That was not an exceptional play there by him.
Almost seemed a little bit foolish on his part with the way he's been playing so far in this game, but it's going to be an important takeaway for the Rustlers here. They got 26 seconds left in the half. Perhaps they can do something with it, knowing that they're going to get a ball going coming out of the half.
They give it to Morant off the right side. An indicator that that may be it for them in this half. Morant gets about 3. And Nolan isn't a guy who really turns the ball over. That's just his 2nd interception of the season. So the Rustlers content to sit on it and go in the locker room and regroup. So we'll step aside. It's halftime here from Diablo Stadium. And it's Saddleback 42, Rustlers 17. But a very, very much improved second quarter for the Rustlers than they had in that first, where they got punched in the mouth to start this one. So halftime here from South Orange County. We'll be back to go over last night's high school action, get you ready for the brackets, which will be coming out tomorrow. This is Golden West Rustler Football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Welcome back to Diablo Stadium. Third quarter about to get underway. The Rustlers will receive the third quarter kickoff, or second half kickoff, I should say. Let's go over some first half stats for you. Of course, Saddleback on top, 42-17. Total yards, 408 yards of total offense for Saddleback in that first half to 177 for the Rustlers. Zach Lewis, 7 of 15, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those 7 completions went to 5 different receivers. Devin Jackson carried it 5 times for 28 yards. Tajay Morant has been effective on the ground as well. 10 carries for 47 yards. For both the Rustlers, tailbacks are averaging at or above 5 yards per carry. The high receivers are Jeremiah Wright and Trevor Hobbs with 2 catches apiece. Hobbs has the touchdown, and KC Carr has the other. As for Saddleback, Chance Nolan, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception, 14 of 22 passing. And he also has 93 rushing yards on 10 carries. As this kickoff goes into the end zone, Rustlers will take a knee, and they will start it 1st and 10 from their own 25, going left to right here in this third quarter. And Albert reminded me while we went to break, it's not the 405 freeway that we're looking at that's right in front of us. It's the 5 freeway. And you would think as a SoCal product, born and raised here, I would know that. But it in fact is the 5. But I will say this, Albert. When I got on the freeway to leave home today, I got on the 405 and I just kept driving. So there's a certain point where the 405 turns into the 5.
They definitely do connect at some point in time.
And that's where the snafu came in there. But this certainly is the 5 freeway. And a delay game to start this half for the offense. Nice of the Rustlers to allow me to get that story in. Well, they didn't get a playoff. 42-17 our scores. We're just ready to go here in this third quarter. So 1st and 15 from the 20. They put Morant in motion. Low snap. They hand it off to Jackson, and Jackson nearly a horse collar there. He may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, or to the line of scrimmage, I should say. But he was wrestled down to the turf there. About 3 different guys got to him for Saddleback, led by Rahimi. So a 2nd and 15. Play fake. Lewis, far side, and Morant can't catch it once again. So Morant's having his issues. He's run the ball extremely well here today. But receiving the ball out of the backfield or lined up in the slot, he certainly had his issues here tonight.
Yeah, I think that's got to be his 2nd drop of the day so far. He had caught an earlier pass in the 2nd quarter there, but just couldn't reel that one in.
And him and Lewis having a tough time getting on the same page. So 3rd and 15, definitely not the way you want to start this half if you're the Rustlers, right? You score, you get a stop, a big stop inside your own zone with an interception, and you have an opportunity to put more points on the board to start this second half, but unable to do so as this pass is complete to Carr, who falls backwards at the 25-yard line and gets right back to where the Rustlers started this drive to begin this half. Not going to be even close to a first down. How many times have we seen that tonight, Albert? 3rd down pass thrown well shy of the sticks, and a receiver having to dive backwards for it, not even having a chance to even get upfield and get yardage to try to get to those sticks.
It's a little demoralizing. I mean, the Rustlers have definitely, made a lot of improvements in that 2nd quarter, and now it seems that they've lost all of that improvement and seem to be backtracking a bit.
So fair catch called for, but Poma having a hard time with that one, muffed that punt, but was able to recover it at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that was almost a very dangerous turn of events
Very
for the Gauchos
dangerous.
there. That ball went right off the returner and could have very easily wound up in the hands of the Rustlers.
And there was an inadvertent whistle there also by the officials. So that one, not sure how they would have ruled that had the Rustlers recovered. They didn't, and here comes Saddleback back to work. Chance Nolan. Play fake. Rifles it over the middle. Pass caught and held on to at the 45-yard line inside Rustler territory by Garcia Castaneda. Boy, I tell you, Palmer had great coverage there. He was draped all over him, and somehow Garcia Castaneda was able to make that catch.
Yeah, when you combine the catching ability of Castaneda and the arm and accuracy that Nolan has, he can pretty much put that ball wherever he wants.
Nolan on the run, throws it Harity in the flat, jukes at the 40 and gets out of bounds at the 39 of the Rustlers. So that's that RPO game that makes this offense so dangerous. You think they're running, and all of a sudden there's a receiver there in the flat or even a receiver downfield. And here's Nolan once again. This time he's going to keep it and jumping on his back and wrestling him down to the turf. There was that Saval? No, Brighton Levy there making. And whoa. Going to be a false start. It looked like a little too much extra activity there. So they get Gabriel Martinez, the backup offensive lineman. He went right into Steven Cruz and pushed him down. I think Nick Mitchell wants to talk about that because it was already a false start. It looked like it was delayed. Oh, wow. So instead of, wow, so they call it unsportsmanlike conduct against the Rustlers. After that play, Law Matia was celebrating, and as a result, they get him with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, just a little too much out of him on that play there. I mean, they definitely got the call that they needed like at that time, but he just kept on going off. His teammates trying to keep him in check, but unfortunately it was too little too late.
He's immediately ushered off the field, and Nolan is sacked. Cruz got to him and missed him, but Arredondo ever to clean it up. And here's a flag on the play.
Outstanding job by the Rustler defense there.
So an ineligible player downfield for Saddleback. So Rustlers will take the penalty. And it brings up a 1st and 10 from the 30.
Seems like a smart call on there because, like, while they got the sack, the penalty yard is going to be greater than the loss of yards on the sack.
Twin wide receivers. Nolan out of the pistol. Algene Fisher goes in motion out of the backfield. They throw it to him in the flat, 35-yard line. He catches a stiff form at the 30, stutter step 25-yard line, and driven out of bounds just shy of the 20 by Saval. They credit Sele Pamasa also. Pickup of 8 there, brings up a 2nd and 7. They put Fisher in motion once again. Here's Nolan, steps up in the pocket with time, tries to escape, nowhere to go. He's sacked by the Rustlers. Pamasa got in there, as well as Jose Arredondo to meet at the quarterback. And a loss there of 3 brings up a 3rd down and 11.
Much credit to the Rustlers defense yet again. Bringing down Nolan is probably the only way that they're going to be able to prevent the Gauchos from getting a score at all.
11:40 left in this 3rd quarter. 3rd and 8 from the Rustler 24-yard line. Nolan escapes. He lost the ball, though. It's on the turf, and the Gauchos recover. Actually, they say he was down before the ball came out. So he was down before the ball came out, back at the 35-yard line. So a 2nd straight sack here by the Rustlers, as they're able to get to the elusive Nolan here in this 3rd quarter. And a huge loss. Sione Maunga credited with the sack. And a 4th and forever here.
Yeah, just when you thought things were not to go the Rustlers' way, it looks like they're starting to figure things out a little bit.
So Kavan Leonardo in for the field goal. This one going to be from 52. The hold is down. The kick is up and short. No good. It was a little short and a little bit wide right as well. So a break there for the Rustlers. And maybe they have an opportunity to kind of reset, restart this half. A little bit better field position than they had on the original kickoff. And try to get some points up on the board here. 42-17 our score. So Lewis will go back to work. 1st and 10 from the 30. Rolling for his life. He throws it to Carr. Incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. And so they're going to get the center, Spencer Blake, the sophomore out of Newport Harbor. Gets called for the holding, so that moves the Rustlers back. It'll be a 1st down and 20 now from the 24-yard line. Rustlers going left to right here in this 3rd quarter. 10:54 to play. 3 wide receivers to the far side for Lewis. 1 wide receiver to this near side. Ball near hash mark. He takes the snap. They set up the screen, and incomplete. He was looking for Morant again, but credit the big fella on the defensive line for Saddleback, Ukulele, for being able to get in there and break that one up. The bounce back out of Army, the 310-pound freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. He's been a disruptive force all season long, Albert. Man, that time he was able to mess up the timing on that screen pass there for the Rustlers.
Yeah, definitely trying to destroy the confidence of Morant there. I mean, Morant already has, 2 drops so far. I think the Rustlers are better off just handing the ball off to Morant and getting some yards just with his legs alone. He and Jackson have proven so far that they're capable of doing that through the game.
Delay a game here against the Rustlers. So it's now going to be a 2nd and 25. So Saddleback showed pressure there. Lewis tried to change the play, didn't see the play clock, and it went to 0 on him. So a 2nd and 25 now from their own 19. Tyreek Bell, who missed the entire first half, is back in there at linebacker. Starting linebacker for this team normally, leading tackler on this team. Lewis takes the snap, belt high, throws it deep down the middle, has right, rolling, diving catch made inside the 45 and down at the 47. Lewis on his back foot letting that one go in front of the pressure, and a nice catch by Jeremiah.
Outstanding job by the Rustlers, being able to keep their cool in that play, taking a page out of Nolan's book in the first half by getting those 25 yards and the first down. Just 5 yards short approaching the half.
Pickup of 26 there. They mark him down at the 44. 1st and 10. They hand off. Jackson coming this way, turns the corner, midfield, runs into a Gaucho inside the 45 and out of bounds just shy of the 40. Devin Jackson, when he gets going downhill, he's oh so tough to tackle, and he does so there that time, letting his presence be known against this Saddleback defense.
Absolutely no fear by Jackson during that run. He very well sees that Gaucho defender straight in front of him and just rolls right through him and gets that first down.
Pickup of 13, 1st and 10 from the Gaucho 43-yard line. Ball near hash mark. Out of the pistol, Lewis takes, hands it off. Jackson up the middle, 2nd level, runs into Bale there that time at the 40-yard line and down at the turf at the 39. So he picks up 5 there, brings up a 2nd down and 5 as we approach 9.5 to play in this 3rd quarter. When he runs like that, it just injects so much energy into this offense. And even flows over onto the sideline as well.
Jackson very clearly a positive and energetic force, just like you said. I mean, I don't know how many times he's had that ball and have been able to get a first down for the Rustlers.
2nd and 5 from the 39. They look for Hobbs, who catches at the 30, and he's pushed out of bounds there on this near sideline by Bobby Blandino, the freshman out of Los Alamitos. So another first down for the Rustlers. Pickup of 9 there. Make it 10 as they marked him out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the Saddleback 29. 8:55 left in this 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to the far side. One is near side as Lewis steps up, instructs the offensive line. Now Morant steps up and moves to his right. Two backs in the backfield. He hands it off Jackson. Jackson with a cut upfield. And he hurdles up to the 25-yard line, but there's a flag back at the 30. This one going to go against the Rustlers. A chop block against the Rustlers. Spot a foul penalty, so this moves them back to just inside the Saddleback 45-yard line.
Absolute devastating penalty.
That's
going to negate
huge.
So much yards that they just gained.
So Lewis will take the snap. He hands it off Jackson going left. Jackson in between the hash marks, and he just rolled that wave up to the 40-yard line, allowed the Saddleback defense momentum to carry him there. And he's able to pick up about 5 there.
So far, so good. That could have been much more of a run for Jackson there, but if anyone can gain that yard on the ground, it's going to be Jackson.
So it's a 2nd and 21 as we hit 8 to play in this 3rd quarter. Saddleback 42, Golden West 17. Ball in between the hash marks for the Rustlers, going left to right here. They send Hobbs in motion. Now he goes back to the slot near side. They give it to Jackson, who's going to throw it. He heaves it downfield and incomplete. There was double coverage there against the Rustlers. Saddleback not fooled whatsoever. The intended target there was John Ojalabi, but he was sandwiched there by a couple of Gauchos.
Rustlers getting a little creative with their playbook so far. Almost paid off, but close but no cigar.
That was Tianco and Blandino there, double teaming Ojalabi. Haven't seen that so far this year. Didn't even know Devin could do that. Didn't know that was in Devin's arsenal. Meanwhile, here we go, 3rd and 21. Low snap. Lewis gives it to Jackson on the draw. Jackson gets to the second level, but nothing more after that, as he's down at the 35-yard line. He picks up 5, and that's going to leave the Rustlers well shy of the first down marker with 7:26 to play in this third. A 4th and 15 coming up. Kind of a weird position, too long for a field goal, a little too short to punt, so they send in Isaiah Palmer, the rugby-style kicker, in for the first time tonight. And Palmer hoping to get a good roll here on this punt. Not the best leg, but if he hits it right, he's able to get a couple of dribbles further into Saddleback territory. It bounces at the 15, and it will die there. So about 20 on the net, but Palmer does his job, and that's where Saddleback will take over with 6:52 to play here in this third quarter. It's the Gauchos 42, Golden West 17. .652 left. Nolan still in there at quarterback for Saddleback. He sends a man, Jefferson, in motion. He play fakes to Poma. Keeps it himself, and he's upended there by Sean Branch. Branch gets to him at about the, let's see, where they mark him down at, the 23-yard line. But a pickup of 8 there. 2nd and 2. Quickly they're back on the ball, and they hand it off Poma once again. Nice move, Poma, second level and more. Inside the secondary and down at the 40, where Jonathan Earl was finally able to get to him there. A first down on the play, and quickly here comes Saddleback back on the ball and hold everything. They were trying to go when the chains weren't set yet. Got to wait for the chains to get set, because they're trying to go with this fast break offense. 6:18 to play here in the third. Trips to the far side, ball near hash mark. One receiver on this near side for Nolan, out of the pistol. Play fake, Nolan sets his feet, fires far side, pass caught. Garcia Castaneda puts his foot in the ground, starts on field, ball was out on the turf. Rustlers didn't see it. There was another inadvertent whistle there. And so the Rustlers stopped playing. Meanwhile, the ball was rolling on the turf. It looked like Saddleback was able to recover. Wow.
Interesting turn of events there, Rahshaun. He clearly had the ball, dropped it. I don't know where the Rustlers' heads were, because they could have very easily come up with a takeaway. Actually, it's still going to be a Gaucho ball.
Actually, they say so because of the whistle, they marked the ball down at the spot of the fumble. So right now it's marked at the 49-yard line, but it looked like he was. So it's a first down. So it's at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 49. Nolan. Far hash mark. Working with 5:58 left in this third quarter. Play fake. Pressure in his face. Throws it. He lobbed it over to the right side. Incomplete, as that one went right in and out of the hands of Jefferson. Ball hit him right between the 1 and the 0. Just couldn't corral it.
Nolan was able to get off that pass, but the Rustlers are starting to get to Nolan, but he took a huge hit before getting that ball out.
2nd and 10 from the Rustler 49-yard line. Poma goes out in the flat. Pressure coming. They throw it high, far sideline. It's caught over there and able to get some nice yards after the catch and up to the 45-yard line of the Rustlers is the wide receiver Jefferson. That play should have went for a loss or maybe no gain at all, but Jefferson did a nice job of spinning and getting it upfield. Under 5.5 to play. 3rd down and 5 from the Rustler 45-yard line. Twin wide receivers for Nolan. Play fake, delivers near side. Jefferson catches at the 40. Inside the numbers, takes a big shot by Reich. And Earl finishes him up inside the 30, but enough for a first down, just shy of the 25 at the 26-yard line. And they go tempo once again. Nolan, far side, pass caught over there at the 20-yard line. And getting a couple of yards after that catch and getting upfield is Garcia Castaneda. But enough for another first down. So 1st and 10 from the 16. Ball far hash mark. Nolan looks over to the sideline now. Goes back to work. Takes the snap. Pass complete. He's just pitching and catching here now at the 10-yard line. Near another first down is Harity. As we're under 4.5 to play. 3rd quarter. 2nd and 2. Second and 2 from the 7. They hand it off. This is Jefferson, the other Jefferson, going off the left side. They got 2 Jeffersons. They got Jonathan Jefferson, who just got that carry, and Elijah Jefferson. No relation as far as we know, but it's the 1st and goal now from the 4. They give it to Jefferson once again. He dances in the backfield, speed bursts up the middle to the goal line, and just shy of the goal line. Quickly right back on the ball, 2nd and goal from the doorstep. Nolan keeps it himself, full to everybody, scampers it to the end zone, and a touchdown for Saddleback. So Nolan with his first rushing touchdown of the night.
Hard to believe that's only Nolan's first riding touchdown compared to how many times he's run the ball himself.
He's was near 100 yards to start this second half. Extra point is up and good. So it's 49-17 Gauchos with 3:39 to play here in the 3rd quarter. And let us remind you, Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is open for your convenience 7 days a week, located off the 91 and Euclid, and on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. 3:39 left in the 3rd. Rahshaun, Haylock, Albert Robles here with you on this first Saturday in November. And it's been a rough start to the month already here for these Rustlers, as they trail 49-17. A game in which Saddleback came out, struck quickly, and has never looked behind. I don't think I've seen a game with more illegal procedures than we have tonight. Here's another one, as this kickoff goes out of bounds. So Rustlers will have it 1st and 10 from the 35. Golden West continues Southern League play next week against Southwestern. It'll be the San Diego Swing for the Rustlers, as Southwestern and Grossmont will both visit the Rustlers to end the regular season. It'll be Southwestern next week, 1 p.m. kickoff right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Here's Lewis, little miscommunication on the outside. He was looking for Wright. Wright was running a slant. Lewis threw an out, incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 35. Haylock was on top of Bakersfield 34-21 at the half. Here's Lewis. Throws it deep downfield, has a man wide open at the 40-yard line, at the 20. Inside the end zone, right. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Outstanding play response from the Rustlers right there. Exactly what they need at this moment of time. They're down by a huge deficit, but the defense is definitely doing their best to keep them in the game, and offense taking advantage of the holes in the Gauchos defense.
High snap, but handled well there by Atencio as Casper is able to split the uprights. So 49-24, 3:24 left in this third quarter. Saddleback with the lead, but how about that deep ball from Zach Lewis? He's throwing the deep ball very well tonight. And another touchdown there.
That was probably one of the more impressive passes from Lewis so far. I mean, that was a wide open pass down the middle. Probably the best thing we'll see all day.
So for Lewis tonight, that's touchdown pass number 3. And right, it's his first touchdown of the night. 4th of the season for Jeremiah. As Casper puts a leg into this one, but going to be taken at the 12 by Poma. Poma inside the numbers, breaks the tackle at the 20, at the 30-yard line, outside the numbers, at the 40, cuts it back at midfield, and he's hit there just shy of the 45-yard line. And Aaron Mulageta there making the special team stop for the Rustlers. And once again, the return coverage woes continue. Kick coverage, I should say. Rustlers having a tough time with that.
Now I can start to see why the Rustlers are so keen to kick it out of bounds and just not have them get the return. I mean, the Gauchos' return teams just seem to be running around like a greased pig, just unstoppable. You can't catch them, can't get a hand on them.
Nolan. In the flat, Algene Jefferson had it but dropped it. Saw a lot of green in front of him. And going to bring up a second down. 3:07 left in the third. Rahshaun Haylock, Albert Robles here with you from Diablo Stadium. They send Jefferson the back in motion. Nolan going to keep it. Breaks one tackle in the backfield. Switches arms as he gets outside the numbers at the 40. And rolls right out of bounds just side of the 35. But there is a flag on the play. So they get the receiver, Colin O'Brien, with the hold. And so this negates the run there by Nolan. O'Brien stays in there at an H-back. 3 wide receivers for Nolan. Takes the snap at midfield. Rolling to his right. Hit as he throws. Pass caught inside the 35-yard line. And moving bodies ahead to the 30 and out of bounds is Harity once more. These receivers aren't very big in stature, but man, do they make a lot of plays. And a lot of plays deep down the field as well. Play fake Nolan once again. He looks to this near side. Pass caught, stiff form there by Clinton Allen. Draws oohs and ahs from the crowd as he gets up this near sideline and out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 5-yard line. But there's a flag on the play, illegal man downfield, so this one's coming back for the Gauchos.
Rustlers getting a lot of really good breaks from the sloppy play from the Gauchos so far. I mean, the Gauchos, for the most part, have been perfect all game, and only recently have been making little mistakes that have just been cutting back on all their positive gains.
So 1st and 15 from the Rustler 34-yard line. And there's some movement on the far sideline, a false start. Looked like one of the receivers moved early. And that's Harity there on the false start. .150 left. Third quarter, 49-24 our score. Saddleback with the ball and the lead. Ball in between the hash marks, but leaning towards the far side. Nolan takes the snap, belt high, pumps, looking deep downfield, has Allen wide open, a diving catch. Oh, what a catch inside the 5-yard line. And down at the 2. Nolan with the pump and go, and it worked like a gem.
That's been the magic of Nolan so far in this game. He's proven that not only can he do it on the ground, but he has the cannon of an arm to put the ball where he needs to, wherever his receivers are located.
J.J. Young there on the coverage, and Allen just flew right past him. And interested to see the numbers, and Allen just hasn't been very impactful for this team so far this season. We know he can make plays. We saw him a year ago. And there's going to be a timeout taken. Timeout Saddleback. Play clock was running down, and so Mark McElroy will call his offense over. They'll talk about it with 1:04 to play in the third. What a catch there by Clinton Allen. I mean, he gave it his all there. He got airborne, making a nice diving catch over his shoulder.
Absolutely, that pass was almost overthrown, but he clearly leaves his feet, catches the ball. He almost had a chance to stay on his feet and get into the end zone, but at least lucky enough for him, held on to the ball, first down, and now it's going to be first and goal, I think, coming up here.
Yeah, first and goal from the 2. You got to look for Nolan here. He's dangerous. We saw him on the keeper get into the end zone earlier this half. Certainly capable with his legs. He's torched the Rustlers with his legs so far this evening. He's got one back, that's Algene Fisher behind him, and 2 wide receivers. They go heavy on the O-line. They give it to Fisher straight ahead. Fisher into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Saddleback. 4th touchdown on the night for Algene Fisher out of J. Sarah High School. And it's now 55-24. Nolan will stay in to hold for the left-footed frame. Kick is good. So 59 seconds left. Third quarter. It's Saddleback 56, Golden West 24. And this is Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Couple missed tackles there. Rustlers unable to take advantage of some Saddleback miscues also on that drive. Some penalties as well, but seems like whenever you think you got Nolan stopped, he somehow comes up with a pretty big play.
It's almost as if there isn't anything that Nolan can't do in this game. I mean, it seems to be that the only way they're going to have to stop him is put him down on the ground, sack him. And they've been able to do that twice so far. Hopefully they can do that more in this game, because that's going to be the one thing that's going to keep the Rustlers in this game.
You talk to a lot of the Saddleback folks here. You ask about Chad Nolan, the first thing they do is take a deep breath and then say, wow. Here is the return for the Rustlers, getting across midfield. Here's Levy across the 40, and another nice return by Brighton here tonight as he gets out of bounds just shy of the 35 of Saddleback. So for as much as Golden West has had its woes in coverage, Saddleback has had their fair share tonight as well.
Brighton looks to be a little bit hurt on that play. Teammate going to be helping him off the field. Hopefully he'll be okay.
And Tanner Branson with the assist there. 47 seconds left. Third quarter. There's 3 on the play clock as Lewis takes the snap, play fake. In the slot, has his man turning it upfield is Ojalabi across the 30-yard line. And down at the 28.
Play clock matching the game clock right here in the third quarter. Hopefully the Rustlers can hopefully complete with the score ending the third quarter, but in any case, they'll still have the ball, even if they don't.
So 2nd and 2 from the 30. Ben Valier in there in the backfield at a tailback. Twin wide receivers, ball near hash mark, play fake. Lewis throws it near side. Atencio catches, breaks the tackle, 25-yard line, dancing up this near sideline. Gets out of bounds just shy of the 20 at the 21. Enough for a first down as he picks up 8 with 6 seconds left in the third quarter. And that play will take us to the end of the frame. So after 3, Saddleback 56, Golden West 24. This is Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Your home for Rustler football. Golden West back in action next week as they return home to take on Southwestern. 1 p.m. kickoff right here on your home of the Rustler, SportsNetUSA.net. And kind of turn the page and look ahead. Uphill climb for the Rustlers to get out of South OC with a win here tonight. And if this score holds up the way it is now, that would be loss number 5 on the season for the Rustlers. So you're looking at an opportunity where they must win out to even have a chance at a bowl. 6 wins get you a bowl automatically. 5, you have a chance if you sort of petition for one. It kind of depends on what everybody else is doing as well, or how everyone else finished as well. So that's sure to be next on the agenda here as we start to watch the schedule. Here's Lewis downfield in the end zone. Atencio on a post. A dime there from Zach Lewis. What a throw. 4th touchdown pass of the night for Lewis. And Atencio with his team leading 6th touchdown grab of the season, as that one was thrown on a rope there by Zach.
Little by little, the Rustlers are chipping away at this deficit that they're facing here in this game. I don't know if they'll able to be overcome the points that the Gauchos have been able to put on the board, but they've definitely been doing everything they can to narrow the gap.
Well, for one, the offense has looked a lot better than it did a week ago. So the extra point is good.
They're also looking a lot better in this half than they did in the first half.
So 56-31 the score. 14:54 left in the fourth quarter. That play was the first play of the fourth. And it was Lewis to Atencio. A lot more points than maybe I expected coming into tonight, Albert.
It definitely seemed like it was going to be a proverbial bloodbath in the favor of the Gauchos, but the Rustlers are doing their best to not make that happen.
So Casper puts it on the tee. Another illegal procedure here? What do you think?
I think they're better off just kicking it deep as far as they can, but we'll see.
Casper kicks it deep. And running underneath it at the 6-yard line is the return man, Poma.
Oh,
he tries to reverse
nowhere.
field. He goes backwards. He's not going
Fumble.
anywhere. Ball's out. Ball is out. Rustlers say they have it.
And it is Rustlers' ball.
Recovered there by the Rustlers, Davion Bird at the 10-yard line.
On this Gaucho fan base is just absolutely stunned. They have no idea how to react to what just happened.
You look at the miscues tonight, the Nolan interception, and then that fumble there by Poma. Just guys just trying to do too much. Lewis steps up to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 1st and 10 Rustlers. And hold everything. Timeout taken by Golden West before a snap. So their first charge timeout of the half comes with 14:41 to play. The ball is marked at the 11. But the chain gang is up. They're up. Beg your pardon. So the Rustlers can actually get a first down without getting to the end zone. 1st and 10 from the Gaucho 11 once play resumes. How about that? A little momentum for the Rustlers.
I'm amazed at what's going on here, Rahshaun. I mean, like, I thought for the way that the Gauchos have been playing and returning the ball that they were just going to get some yards out of it. But sure enough, the Rustlers were able to swarm around that punt returner and not only bring him down, but force the ball out and recover. That's the best defensive play on special teams that they've had all game.
Yeah, absolutely. They have not won the special teams battle tonight. But that play was a big one. Here's Lewis taking the snap. Off his back foot, looking back at the end zone. Hobbs reaching out with one hand off of his right fingertip. Out of bounds. Incomplete. Ross on the coverage. Pressure heavy in the face of Lewis.
Doing his best to make it happen, but just a little bit short.
So it'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 11. Saddleback bringing all kind of pressure there that time. Lewis gets the play. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Lewis stops, looking for Hobbs once again. Same play. A little corner route, and once again out of the reach of Hobbs, and to be 3rd down and 10. So it was the same route they tried to go right back to on 2nd down. And for the 2nd straight play, fell incomplete. 2nd straight time, Lewis just overshot Hobbs. And pressure also coming hot there once again in the face of Lewis. So what do they do this time? 14:27 left. 3rd and 10 from the 11. Here's Lewis. Steps up in the pocket, trying to create some space, and he's going to go down. And it was Bell getting to him. The linebacker swings him out of bounds at the 15-yard line and enters the kicking unit. And that has been an issue all season long, Albert. Make a big play, you force a turnover, and unable to get into the end zone after it.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the Rustlers to not make the most of that takeaway, but hopefully they can put this kick through the posts and at least walk away with 3 points.
This one from 23, and Casper, he missed it. He missed it wide left. Unfathomable how the Rustlers have struggled so much this season on sudden change.
That just goes to show you how quickly the tables can turn on you. I mean, you got that takeaway. It seemed almost ascertainable that the Rustlers were going to score a touchdown. I mean, they kept their composure as best as they could, but the Gaucho defense has clearly stepped up and got a much-needed sack. And then, of course, they shanked that field goal to the left. But at least, the Rustler defense has, a good position on the Gaucho offense right now. Hopefully they can contain them.
It's going to be 1st and 10 Gauchos from their own 20-yard line. Nolan hands it off Jefferson. Up the left side, and he's picked up and power drive and thrown down to the turf.
Ran straight into a brick wall on that one.
Yeah, that brick wall was number 51, Jordan Chambers, who has shown flashes this season of being a really good football player. Pick over 2, 2nd and 8 from the 22. Nolan, play fake. Looks near side, has Garcia Castaneda at the 25, runs towards the sideline across the 30-yard line, and pushed out of bounds at the 33.
And that's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, pickup of 11 there, as we're inching towards 12 to play in this game. Nolan. Play fake again. He gives it to Harity on a little screen. Oh, no, I beg your pardon. Not Harity there. Harity out blocking there for the wide receiver. Albanez, the tight end, I beg your pardon, making the catch there. And quickly they're back on the ball. Play fake, Nolan, far side. Pass caught over there by Allen. A stiff arm, a big boy stiff arm as he gets ahead to the midfield, and Palmer able to push him out of bounds at the 48-yard line of the Rustlers, but Allen showing the physicality here tonight.
Allen ran straight into that Rustler defender, was almost about to go nowhere, but just that straight stiff arm rolled him over, got the first down.
First and 10. They go to the ground, and here is Jefferson going to try the left side. He picks up a couple before Chambers was able to get him down to the turf. Second down and 8. Pressure coming. Nolan flushed out of the pocket. Rolling right, going to tuck it and run. 45-yard line, cuts at the 40. Spin move at the 35. And Nolan continuing his great night on the ground. There is a flag back at midfield, though, however, and this one could be coming back.
That's going to be holding on the offense, but based off of the way that play ended, there should have been a flag for helmet to helmet because that was some really hard hitting right there.
So it goes against the Gauchos with 11:32 left. 56-31 our score here. Saddleback with the ball and the lead as they blitz the Rustlers in the first quarter. They led it 28-0 after 1. Trip to the far side. Ball near the far hash mark as we approach 11 to play. Gauchos taking their time for the first time tonight. Play fake. Nolan looking up the seam. Far side. Nearly a great one-hand catch there in the seam. It falls incomplete, though, however. And that was Allen again trying for more heroics. Saval there on the coverage. Kramer in the vicinity as well, as we're under 11 to play. 3rd and 18 from the Gaucho 43-yard line.
And, of course, that 3rd and 18 might as well mean nothing to the Gauchos because, as they've proven in this game, it clearly means nothing. They are more than capable of making up that yardage and getting a first down.
Yeah, we've seen them complete with 25 yards to go tonight and a delay of game against Saddleback. So that 3rd and 18 now going to become a 3rd and 23. So Nolan, 3rd and 23 from their own 38-yard line. Nolan with all kinds of time. Pumps. Now going to tuck it and run at the 40. Comes outside this near hash. Now pitches it to Poma at midfield. Poma gets out of bounds at the 47-yard line. It's going to be shy of the first down. You talk about backyard football and everything else here, Albert Robles.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit creative. Like they're just like 9 yards away from a first down. Definitely making up the difference. It's a 4th and 9. We'll see what they'll do on this play. You know, Lord knows they're capable of doing it.
After giving it some consideration, they send the punting unit out.
You know, with a 25-yard lead, you're better off just sending it over and let your defense take over.
So Branson will go back to receive this one. Off the leg of Leonardo, and he boots this one inside the 5. And do they get it? And no, they say across the line. It's going to be a touchback nearly down there inside the 1. But it will be a touchback, so the Rustlers will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20. Golden West football right here on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Used car deals, new car deals. Kind of special you want? Make sure you reach out to the fine folks at Miller Toyota of Anaheim, and I'm pretty sure they may have one just for you. They're located at the 91 and Euclid and on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. Rahshaun Haylock, Albert Robles here with you. High above Diablo Stadium. Rustlers with the ball, trailing 56-31, and here's a big run by Tajay Morant, his longest run of the night, as he gets that one near the 35-yard line to the 33. Pickup of 13 there for Tajay.
Morant once again showing off those wheels. He almost broke away for more yards, but luckily the Gauchos were able to actually stop him. And the Rustlers clearly showing the versatility with their offense right now.
And held on to the ball, too. They were coming from behind trying to rake that one away. They give it to Morant once again. Tries to find a crease on that far side, but nowhere to go as he got back to the line of scrimmage. Coming downhill and making that play was Ross as we approach 9 to play. Certainly some positives to take out of this one. You go back to Riverside last week, and that's one where you might have just wanted to throw away the tape, not even watch it. 2nd and 10 from the 38. High snap. Lewis off his back foot looking up the seam. He's going to be picked off. Picked off by Saddleback. And with the return here coming up across or near midfield here are the Gauchos, and that was Bobby Blandino with the interception. Got it up to the 47-yard line, and Lewis paid for that one that time. We talked about him with the deep ball. He's been pretty good with it tonight, but that one he just kind of on his back foot kind of just chucked it up there, Albert.
Yeah, just overshot his man, and Blandino was right there to reap the benefits.
Yeah, he had a step on the inside, but that ball was thrown more to the outside by Lewis. Rustlers without VJ Malo. He left this game earlier with an injury. Well, he on the sideline. As Nolan play fake over the middle has Harity. A shoestring tackle made there by Kramer at about the 45-yard line of the Rustlers. Pickup of 7 brings up a 2nd and 3 as we're under 8.5 to play. Fourth quarter action here from Diablo Stadium. Rustlers back in action next week as they'll be at home to take on Southwestern. Final 2 games of the regular season will be at Rustler Field, starting with that Southwestern game at 1 p.m. next Saturday right here on your home of the Rustlers, SportsNetUSA.net. Here's Nolan out of the pistol, hands it off. Algene Fisher, and Fisher with his longest run of the night. running strong as this game has gone along across the 40. And just shy of the 35 of Golden West. Plenty enough for a first down. Fisher with 4 rushing touchdowns tonight. As we approach 7.5 to play. Gauchos not in any hurry for the first time tonight. Six on the play clock, 7:20 on the game clock. Out of the pistol, Nolan hands it off once again, and this is Algene Fisher once again across the 30. And down outside the numbers at the 29-yard line. So a pickup of about 7 there, and there's an injured Rustler down on the turf. So we'll have an injury timeout. So training staff sprints out to attend to the injured Rustler. 7:06 to play here. You take away the first quarter, and the Rustlers have outscored Saddleback 31-28 since that point. But at that point, of course, the damage was already done, Albert. Tough to climb into or dig yourself into a 28-0 hole and have a chance, especially on the road. And it's the big fella, La Matia, who was helped up off the turf.
Good to see Lamatia get back up. I mean, he may not look like one of the more physical players, but he's definitely one of the more energetic players on the Rustler defense.
He definitely brings the energy. Daniel La Matia, 6-foot freshman out of La Sierra, going 315 pounds. A lot of bulk up there on that line, that defensive front he brings for the Rustlers. First and 10 from the Rustler 29-yard line. Oh, no, I beg your pardon. 2nd and 2 coming up. Just looking at the scoreboard. Got caught looking at the scoreboard, Albert. Not sure what the holdup is now.
I don't see any actions from the refs. Hard to figure out what they're trying to figure out too. But scoreboard's still incorrect in terms of the yardage, but it is what it is.
Here's Fisher with the carry up the middle. And just outside this near hash down at the 25-yard line. Clock will stop as they move the sticks with just under 6.5 to play here inside Diablo Stadium. Rustlers now 56-31. A game in which they trailed 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. Got hit with an absolute haymaker to start this one. Jefferson now on the tailback, and he'll get the carry off the right side. And that's Sayo Amor getting in there and making the tackle after the gain of 4. All not lost here for the Rustlers. Still an opportunity to get to a bowl game this year for the 2nd consecutive season. You pretty much got to win out and then hope that an opportunity breaks your way. On the end around, they give it to Jefferson. That's Elijah Jefferson. A nice spin move at the 15. And pushed backwards out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Another first down with 5:10 left. You see, they've gone to that end around a lot tonight, Albert. And Elijah, normally the beneficiary of that one. I think we've seen Garcia Castaneda maybe have one of those, but it's really been Elijah Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson showing a little bit of the razzle-dazzle. That was a wonderful spin move, well executed.
Yeah, he hit the circle button. Under 5 to play. Nolan still in there at quarterback. Fisher behind him in the pistol. They give it to Fisher off left guard. It's wide open for him as he gets into the end zone. 5 touchdowns to match the number on his uniform. And what a night for Algene Fisher here tonight as Saddleback reaches the 60-point mark. And they lead this one 61-31 with 4:31 to play.
Yeah, Fisher just hustled right through that Rustler defensive line. The Rustlers have been pretty good on containing the run so far, but Fisher clearly found a way to exploit a hole.
Frame for the point after, and it is good. So 61-31, 4:31 to play. Or 62-31, I beg your pardon. 4:31 to play here from Diablo Stadium. You mentioned Rustlers being good with the run. We'll have to see the final numbers, but Nolan was near 100 when we started this half. Did take a couple of sacks, and of course, that goes against the quarterback's rushing yardage total at the collegiate level. So we'll have to see where he finishes, but if so, I believe he's the first 100-yard rusher the Rustlers have allowed this season. Rustlers have been stellar against the run this year. I mean, elite. You want to pick out the positives. That's something they've done well the majority of this season. As the Gauchos will kick this one off, it'll be a little pooch kick and taking on a bounce at the 30 by one of the up men for the Rustlers, TJ Tawafiti. And Golden West will start it there, first down and 10 with 4:29 to play. Rahshaun Haylock, Albert Robles here with you. Happy November to you. That means Thanksgiving right around the corner, Albert.
Yes, it is, and thank you for acknowledging that it's Thanksgiving coming up. It is not Christmas yet.
Man, I had the same talk with my wife the other day. We were at the mall running some errands the other day, and it was actually on Halloween. And we pull up, and outside the mall, there's a wreath hanging up. It's Ben Vire getting the carry, and he's going to be swung around and thrown down by Austin Moore, sophomore out of San Clemente. There's a wreath hanging outside the mall on Halloween. And I was beside myself. But, I mean, if you go to the malls now, you're probably going to see Christmas trees and all kinds of stuff.
It's too soon.
Too soon. I'm with you. I am with you, my man. And this is coming from someone who loves Christmas music. Go to the ground one more time. Ben Vire puts his head down and gets just shy of the 40 where the stick is. So he'd be about a yard shy of the yard to gain with 3:40 to play. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Rustlers. That's got to be probably one of my biggest pet peeves.
Same here. I do love myself some Christmas. Probably my favorite holiday after the 4th of July, but Christmas starts after Thanksgiving.
4th of July, huh? You're a 4th of July guy. Here's Ben
I love
Vire
myself the 4th of July.
hurtling over some defenders and getting it up to midfield. Needed 1. He got about 12 there, and that's a first down for the Rustlers at midfield. 4th of July, huh? Nice.
There's nothing I love more than the pool,
The pool.
sun,
Oh, the pool.
burgers, hot dogs, and of course, fireworks.
Love the fireworks. 2:53 left. They go the stretch play with Vire across midfield. Vire with some space, far sideline, 30-yard line, pushed out of bounds at the 25. Big Ben.
Vire with some fireworks of his own right here.
Nice run there by Vire. He was pushed out of bounds there by Tyler. Beg your pardon. Jake Browning. 2.5 to play. 1st and 10 from the 25. I'd probably go Thanksgiving, then Christmas, in that order. Ground game one more time, and Devin is hit around the ankles. And look out, some pushing and shoving away from the play. That was Danny Rodriguez all on top of Spencer Blake there. No flag came in. Wow. Under 2 to play. They give it to Devin again around the edge, outside the numbers. He turns it upfield, ran into his own man inside the 15. He got out of bounds. Had enough for a 1st down. Be nice to see the Rustlers get into the end zone one final time before we get out of here. Maybe something to build on as you get ready for Southwestern next week. We approach 1.5 to play.
Yeah, the Gauchos going to walk away with a win here, and quite a substantial one, but there definitely have been a lot to take away in terms of positivity for the Rustlers here.
First quarters have kind of been tough for the Rustlers last couple of weeks. As that was Morant on the carry, got it to the 10. About a 3-yard pickup. 2nd down and 7 coming up. 1:03 to play. Lewis barking out instructions. 2 backs in the backfield with him. So we're under a minute now. Hands it off to Morant. Nice block by Jackson in front. Morant, a big collision at the goal line, and he gets in. Tajay Morant. Nice run, but how about Devin Jackson with a big block to open things up for him? And the Rustlers find the end zone with 44 seconds left in this one. And it's 62-37 Gauchos. Want some positives, something to take back to Surf City to work on for next week. That's certainly it. Low snap. But Casper splits the upright. So it's 62-38. 44 seconds left in this one. And the Rustlers with a nice drive. And you like that. They continue to play hard, not giving up. And a nice, healthy run there by Tajay Morant, who's had himself quite the ball game.
Definitely. Morant had an awesome run for that touchdown. Jackson had a very key block to make that happen. I'd say Morant and Jackson have probably been one of the key takeaways from this game, getting it done on the ground. Some key tosses from Lewis as well, but a lot of the positive gains have been from the running game.
See if we see an onside kick here from Casper. Zach Lewis made some strides tonight at quarterback. Rustlers once again without Nathaniel Espinoza for the 3rd straight game. Espinoza got hurt in the final non-league contest against College of the Canyons and has been out ever since. See if Casper attempts an onside kick here. No, he's going to kick it deep. Well, short, but much deeper than an onside, the 20-yard line. Another nice return here for Saddleback up to the 45-yard line. And that was Jefferson on the return. Jonathan Jefferson, the tailback, out of Citrus Hill. So 35 ticks left. Albert and I going to be heading up the 5 north. Once this one goes final, back to our respective destinations. And they will send in Devin Friedland, the backup quarterback, as they line up in the victory formation. Maybe one snap here would do it, you'd think. As Friedland takes the snap, takes the knee, and that should do it. So teams get ready to line up to walk across the field and shake hands. A tough one for the Rustlers as they took it right on the chin tonight. Albert, 28-point hole they climb into to start this one. That's definitely tough to overcome.
Yeah, I would say that first quarter is definitely what set the tone for the rest of the game. I mean, you know, when the Gauchos put up 28 points to start the game and you aren't able to put any points in response until, you know, the end of the half, it just makes it that much harder. I mean, I would say, you know, the main weakness so far for the Russians in this game was just the inability to stop the return. I mean, like, the Gauchos were consistently able to get decent field position and then score upon that field position.
Yeah, and that Nolan guy is pretty good, too. Chance Nolan with a big night tonight as this one has officially gone final. 62-38 our final here from Diablo Stadium, as the Rustlers fall to 3-5 on the season and 1-2 in Southern Conference play. Meanwhile, Saddleback improving on the year to 8-0 and 3-0 in Southern League play. For the Gauchos, it's their best start since 2006. That year, they ended up winning their first 11 before losing to El Camino in the state semifinals. So, Mark McElroy and company trying to do things here, and definitely not a sight you want to see is walking through that handshake line as VJ Malo with a crutch. So that would be a huge loss for the Rustlers if he's unable to be back for either one of these next two games. Of course, remember they lost Jalen Harrington earlier this year for the season with a knee injury. That's two of their starting 3 defensive linemen. So that one would be a tough blow to overcome, no doubt. Well, that's going to do it from us here from Diablo Stadium. Our final score once again, Saddleback 62, Golden West 38. Special thanks to Nick Mitchell as well. Randy Totorp, the athletic director here at Mission Viejo, as well as Brad Hoyseth, who does so many great things for community college football and the work that he does here at Saddleback as well. Did I say Randy Totorp was the athletic director at Mission Viejo? He's the athletic director at Saddleback.
Close enough.
Oh, man, I keep looking at this big MV in the middle of the field. That means, Albert, it is time to get out of here. Special thanks to them. Special thanks, of course, to all of you at home for watching. Ed Ford is the operations manager for SportsNetUSA.net. So for Albert Robles, I'm Rahshaun Haylock. All of us here at SportsNetUSA.net, thank you so much for watching. Rustlers fall tonight 62-38. They'll be back in next Saturday from Rustler Field. We'll have it for you right here on your home of the Rustlers. This has been Golden West Rustler Football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Good night from Mission Viejo.